Alright guys, I have the liquid moly in here right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drain this out after I listen to the sound, and I'm going to put OEM fluid in to see if the sound is louder with OEM or liquid moly when I go to 59 miles an hour. Alright, so as you can see, this is your fill, this is your drain for your transfer case. I'm going to go ahead and switch this out after I listen to it to see if OEM has a quieter sound than liquid moly.
Really good too.
Yeah. No, I think the liquid moly, like I said, it sounds more quiet with the liquid moly.
Because you got thicker oil in it.
Yeah.
Because you're 75, 90. It's not that much, but.
Alright, we're going to see if the
That's still clean.
the liquid moly after 2,000 miles is got any kind of metal. I don't think it did, because like the car actually was more quiet and it glid a little bit better. But like I said, the transfer case, the noise was a little louder, but I just think that's because the oil might be a little denser. So we'll check this plug real quick to see if there's anything on it, but there shouldn't be, because I haven't been driving crazy hard on it and it's only been 2,000 miles. Let's see what we got in the rear over here.
That's clean.
Looks clean.
Nothing.
Nothing on the drain plug. Maybe a little, just a tiny bit. Nothing crazy. All right, guys, it's Justin, and I'm back with another Mazda Monday. I am back in Colombia, and before I left, I took that car back in to get that gear oil changed out because it did not work out for me. I started to get that harmonic noise, and it started increasing and got very loud. The noise was coming from my transfer case, not my rear differential, and that was not necessarily due to it being liquid moly. It is because it is a thicker viscosity. All right, we use the 75W90. Mazda is a 75W85. All right, so what that means is at 100 degrees, that oil is an 85 thickness. We were using a liquid moly of a 90, so at 100 degrees is a 90 thickness. Now, when you have gears that have very tight tolerances and you're using a 90 thickness versus an 85, you're putting a lot of stress on your gears, and also because there was so much pressure, I think that's what was, there was so much tightness through there, it was causing that whining noise. And so I took it back in, and I was hoping there wasn't any permanent damage. We looked at the plug on the transfer case. Luckily, I didn't see any, any metal on the plug. And then we looked at the rear differential. There was a little bit of metal, but I think that was the remnants of just having that higher, thicker fluid, probably flushing all the rest of the, the metal that was already loose in there and pushing it on the plug. So luckily, I changed that out in 2,000 miles. I only ran it for 2,000 miles, but I started to notice that noise got a little bit louder. So I'm glad I took it in to get it changed out. And as soon as I put the OEM fluid back in, the noise went completely away. So guys, I'm gonna tell you now, just stick to the OEM fluids with the transfer case, the rear differential, and your transmission. I know, like when you use, I noticed when I did use that thick oil, the car was smoother, but it's not worth it to be smoother if it's going to cause extra stress on the gears. All right, so use the correct viscosity fluid. All right, and I like I said, I don't think it was necessarily because of the brand. I think it was just because of the thickness of the fluid. Now, I looked on Facebook, and I looked on all over the internet. There were other people having failures with that liquid moly, but also it was the same reasoning. They were using a thicker weight than what they should have been. Now, most Hypoid gear oil is a GL5, like an API rating of GL5, which isn't safe for the manual Mazdas because Mazda uses brass in their manual cars. So the Mazdas, they use a GL4, which is safe for brass. So even though they have a different formula for the manual cars, the automatic cars also, for our rear differential and a transfer case, use a GL4 Hypoid gear oil, which most Hypoid gear oil is GL5, which has these additives in it for extreme pressure. All right, so what I would say is you're not going to find this SG1 Hypoid gear oil anywhere. I know the closest thing you can get to it if you can't find OEM fluid is the Ravenol. So if you can't use OEM, use Ravenol. And if you can't do either one of those, based on what I've seen over looking at all the reviews, the Amsoil is your best bet. But it is not approved like the Ravenol is for OEM replacement. But from what I've seen with just customers' feedback, Amsoil is top notch. I'm going to stick to OEM for right now, but in the future, maybe if I replace my rear differential, I will try Amsoil in it. And you have to make sure you use the correct weight, a 75, 85. And that way you don't have any issues with the thickness and that sound coming back. All right, because when I looked on Facebook, I saw 3 people that had a rear differential, well, 2 had a rear differential failure and 1 had a transfer case failure right after they put in that 75W90 Royal Purple. OEM fluid or possibly the Ravenol, because they're pretty much almost the same. And if you can't get those, Amsoil could possibly be better because people have been running it with no issues. All right. Now that being said, I'm saying all this to let you guys know, like, we just have a weak rear differential, and so what I'm doing is I'm organizing a group buy, and M Factory is actually going to be the ones that are gonna do the development for this rear differential. Now, they already did a LSD for the front wheel drive Mazdas. They recently did that and it came out great. My customers are happy. The quality was excellent. So what I'm wanting to do is I am going to send a rear differential, a brand new one, up to M Factory so they can scan it and start making improvements and a better internals for our rear differential so we don't have this issue happening, because it doesn't matter if guys are stock or modified. Everybody's been having, a lot of people have been having the rear differential problems, and it's just from normal daily things, you know, not even going hard on the vehicles. So we want to get that taken care of. Right now I don't have all the information. When I have the information, just look back at this video and it will be posted in the description, and I'm also going to leave other information down there so you guys know what kind of oils to use in your vehicle, you know. But I'm excited for that, and this rear differential is going to be for Mazda 3, CX-30 turbo model and NA models. All right, we're not working on the CX-5 and stuff like that for now, but for right now those are the models we will be working on to get that rear differential reinforced and stronger, so you guys aren't so worried about this just randomly giving out on you all the time. So yeah, that's it, guys. Just wanted to let you know I'm going to be putting together this group buy, and I'll leave the WhatsApp link once I get it all together. And we got to get a minimum of 10 people to get this going, and it won't be that bad. And I'm estimating the price for the rear differential upgrade is going to be around $900. So that's it for today, guys. Short video. What I'm hoping to do in the next couple weeks, I'm actually probably going to try to start on this tomorrow. I want to go over each Mazda vehicle, because, you know, a lot of people are wasting money on modifications, and I'm going to give you what was the best, you know, modifications for each vehicle that I found, like a Mazda 2, Miata, and give you like the best brands and what I would recommend from each brand. Obviously, there's maybe like 5 major brands right now that have parts, and there's one company that makes really good exhaust. There's one person that makes really good, you know, intakes, and there's another person who does all the best accessories. So I want to make sure you guys are getting all the best parts for your Mazdas, because I mean, they're not fast vehicles, not these new ones. So I want to make sure you're getting the best and not wasting your money and making your car slower. So that's it for today, guys. Catch you on the next one.